Welcome, my name is Cassie. I hope you're having a good day or had a good day wherever you may be in this world. Today I am continuing my one palette makeup tutorials and I am using the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. I haven't really dipped much into these palettes and I wanted to do a purple makeup look, so I decided that since this was the only palette in the 4 palettes that had purple, that I was just going to do a look around this. So it is a purplish look. Disclaimer. In the beginning, I don't have any makeup on, I just am doing my eyes, and I think that it looks like 2 bruised eyes, but after I go ahead and put all of my makeup on off camera, it comes together and looks like this, and I actually did enjoy the look, but at first I was not having it. I was just like, part of me just wanted to take off the makeup and redo another purple look, but trust me when I say, trust the process. Don't take off all your makeup if you're not feeling it until after all of your makeup is done, and then if you're still not feeling it, take it off. But trust the process. Don't give up. I promise it'll work out. Anyways, if you would like to see me use this Bling Boss palette and how I got this look right here, then please just keep on watching, and also make sure that you subscribe to my channel because it is free and I upload twice a week, once on Wednesdays and once on Sundays. And yeah, just subscribe to my channel and we'll get right to it. I'm going to prime my eyelids using the Rimmel London Match Perfecting Concealer. I always use this to prime my lids. And it's great because it has like that, well, you can't even really see it, but it's great because it has like that felt tip. Not really felt, but it has like a brush tip, and you can just squeeze it and paint it all over your eyes. This is really good because it helps to cancel out any of your veins or weird discoloration on your eyelids, so that way it helps to create a more seamless canvas. I am blending it out with my Morphe and Jeffree Star sponge. The smaller one, this works so much better than the Beauty Blender, the Mini Beauty Blender. I found that the Mini Beauty Blender just took product off rather than spreading it around. So the palette that we're going to be using today is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss. This is the 3rd time trying to say Bling Boss. The palette we're going to be using today is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette, and we're going to be focusing on the purples, which is why I wanted to use this. So this is kind of more like cranberry colors here, but I really wanted to focus this around this purple shimmery shade, and we're just going to see what we come up with. I wanted to do a more legit purple look and figured that I would use one of her palettes. I'm dipping into the shade Hush Hush, which is this one right here, just to pretty much set my concealer so that way my shadows can go on seamless. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, but it's okay because it's just going to be covered up anyways. Okay, so I'm going to start by using the brush by Real Techniques, and it is a shading brush. It is a little bit smaller. You don't want something super big for this look that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be dipping into the shade Rockstar, which is this one right here. It is like cranberry, like a true cranberry color kind of, with a little bit more purplish to it. And I'm going to be focusing this to my outer corner. At first, I kind of like to just pack it on so that way I can pack the punch and then go ahead and blend it out and pack more on if I need to. I'm trying to leave my lid, the middle of my lid, blank. And I'm just going to wipe off that brush before I go ahead and blend anything out. And I'm going to be dipping into the shade Sparks. It's this one right here, and it's a little bit more red than this one. The Rockstar shade is more purpley, whereas this one is kind of reddish. And I'm going to focus this one right on my inner corner. I am then going to go in with a different brush, and I want it to be more like a more fluffier brush. So I'm going to be taking my Morphe E22 brush. It is a little bit bigger and fluffier, and I'm dipping into that first shade, the Rockstar shade, which is the more purpley shade, and I'm going to take the color that's on my brush, and I'm starting from my outer corner and going all the way to my inner corner, but I'm staying in my crease. So I just want to kind of flatten this part out, make it even. And I'm going with very, very light pressure because I don't want to pack too much on at once. And then I'm going to grab a more fluffier brush. So I'm going to be using my Mally brush. It's very fluffy. I usually use this in my crease. And we're going in with that shade Hush Hush, which is the shade that we use to set our concealer or primer on our eyelid. And I'm going to be focusing this right on top of that shade Rockstar that we just used and right above it. So that way it's kind of not just like skin and then a super harsh line, so it's going to be blended a lot better. And if you can see what I mean after I blend it, let me zoom you in a little bit. After I blend it, it kind of like goes away, the color. So that's why I kind of just like to punch it all on at once and then go back again. Because if I only do a little bit and blend it out, it's not going to be as color punched as it would be doing it this way. And then going back in with that Real Techniques brush, which is the packing brush, and dipping into the shade Rockstar and patting that color on my outer corner again. And as a reminder, we don't have any makeup on our face, so we can be as messy as we want. If there's fallout, it's totally okay. I have a tiny face right here that I left out. And then I'm going to pack some concealer on and then pack the purplish shimmery shade type of thing on. I'm going to take another brush. Grab a brush that you can use with concealer. So I'm going to take this Real Techniques detailer brush. It's very small and very flat. And I'm just going to take some of that concealer that I use to prime my lids, and I'm going to take it off with my brush. And I literally only want a tiny bit, so you don't even have to squeeze it. Just take the excess off of the brush. And you don't want to go over the color too much. You just kind of want to brighten up that inner corner. I want to try and make it go from like thicker to skinny, if that makes sense. And then normally I don't really use a brush for this step, but I'm going to take my finger and use that shade Gem, which is this purple one right here, and it is super shimmery. So I'm going to take my ring finger. You can use a brush for this if you want with some Fix Plus or something, but I feel like using my finger, it packs on the most pigment. And you just kind of want to blend with your finger around that whole entire spot. So you have that purple, but then you want to go in with a brush and kind of blend just a little bit, literally using tiny, tiny pressure, because we're going to go back in and pack that color on again. And just to be ballsy, wait a second, we're going to use the shade Ballsy right here. It's like a pinkish, purplish, very dyed down purple, that's for sure. It's a shimmer shade, and we're going to use that right in the center. It just gives it that little oomph that we need. And then going back in with the Real Techniques shading brush and packing on the Rockstar shade again and blending it in with that middle shade, and then going into that shade Sparks. And then grabbing our fluffier brush and going in the shade Hush Hush and blending in our crease. Because you don't want it to be super, super harsh. You just want the color to be there. Now that I look like I got punched in both eyes, I'm going to take my makeup remover wipes. Just take whatever makeup remover you have. And I'm going to wipe my fingers from the color so that way I don't get it all over my face once I apply the rest of my face. And I'm going to wipe off all of this kickback. And I'm going to create a very blunt line here. But I just want to make sure, it's so weird looking at myself in the viewfinder because I look like I literally have two black eyes. It's fine. We're going to roll with it. But I wrap the tissue or makeup remover wipe around my finger so that way I'm able to clean up. But you just want to make sure you leave a little bit of shadow kind of down here so that way you're able to connect your lower lash line eyeshadow to this right here. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. But you just want it to be able to blend seamlessly And so you go a little bit lower and flick up toward your eyebrow and then kind of just clean that up. So we're going to try doing some wing liner, and I got this in Gratis. It is a Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Deepest Black. So yes, I did get this for Gratis. A lot of people buy it. I'm not a huge fan of liquid eyeliner at all, so if this is a complete fail, I'm just going to let it be a complete fail because I don't do liquid liner at all. So I'm just going to fast forward to this point because I'm not even the type of person to give you pointers for this because I just don't. I have hooded eyes. I feel like it looks super weird, but we're just going to do something different. One thing I do have to say is this eyeliner is very pigmented. Normally, by now, I'd have to like shake it to get color out. Very pigmented. There's my wing. It's so dark, the purple, you can barely tell, but there it is. I don't like wings, so I'm not going any more drastic than that. And now we have one wing longer than the other, and I'm not even going to try to make them different because I'm going to end up like that meme with black all over my face. So I attempted a wing. That's that. I honestly have to say that this liner is actually pretty freaking good. I didn't have to put the thing back in the cap and shake it up or anything like that. It's pretty pigmented. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply my mascara and the rest of my face off camera, and I will be right back to do our lower lash line. Okay, so my face is on. If you're wondering what I have on my lips, I am wearing the Ofra liquid lipstick in the shade Verona. I just want to say really quickly, when I was doing my eyes before I put on the rest of my face, I was not feeling the look at all. That's why I kept on saying like, oh my gosh, it looks like I have bruised eyes or like black eyes. But now I can't wait to finish and see what the final product is going to look like because it actually looks pretty good. And I am pretty sure I forgot to wipe off my bake yet again. I'm going to go back in with the Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette, and we're going to pretty much use the same exact colors that we used earlier, except maybe just one shade. And if you don't already know, I do one palette tutorials, and this is basically, again, along the lines of one palette tutorial, only using this palette. I find that it's really easier for people to follow along a tutorial when they only have to use one palette, especially if they only have that one palette. That way they can achieve the look only using that palette and being like, well, I can't do this look because I don't have the 5 palettes that they're using. So that's why I kind of created my playlist of one palette tutorials. So let me find a brush really quick. So I'm going to use my E36 brush. It's very small, and I am going to dip into that Hush Hush shade, which is this one right here. And I'm going to run that all along my bottom lash line. I like to do lighter shades first, because just like I do like at the top of my eyes, because it kind of creates a base for everything else to go on seamlessly. And I do have to say, I cannot stand the mascara that I used today. It is the Benefit They're Real. I hate it. It's awful. Like, I have mascara on, but you can't even tell because my lashes are just back down to being flat. It's so annoying. I did heat up my eyelash curler and everything else, and it still doesn't work. I've tried giving it numerous times, so I am just going to use it on my lower lash line, and then I'm throwing it in my bin of empties. So again, with that brush, the E36, I'm going to go in to the shade Rockstar, which is the shade we use on the outer corner. And I'm going to focus this from the outer corner to the inner corner using very light pressure because it is very pigmented and dark. And again, you definitely want to blend back here, which is what I told you. You want it all to kind of seamlessly blend together. The lower lash line is like my most hated part of my makeup. I hate doing it. It's uncomfortable, and it's like any wrong move is done with. I am now going to take a more fluffier brush so we're able to blend out our lower lash line, and I'm using the Morphe E18. It's kind of the same shape as the E36 or 38, whichever one I just used. A little bit bigger and a little bit more fluffier, and we're going to use that same shade Hush Hush to blend everything out. You just don't want it to be like a harsh line there. now we're going to use my e.l.f. brush that I always use for inner corner and under the eyebrow highlight. It's the concealer brush, very, very tiny. And I'm going to go in with that shade Bling Bling, which is this first one right here. I think it's super beautiful, super pretty, and it's just going to give us a nice pop of color on the inner corner as well as underneath the brow bone. I only want it right at the arch. The underneath the brow highlight helps to kind of give your eyebrow that lifted appearance, as if it like your eyebrow was lifted a little bit more. Now I'm going to take that brush and take that same shade Bling Bling, and I'm going to apply some right to the inner corner, the middle of my lid, because I think that this color is super cute and gives just the perfect amount of pop. You don't have to do all over purple. You could just do a little bit in the middle of that purple. For real though, my eyelashes just look like my normal lashes that grow down with mascara on them. It's as if I put my mascara on top and just brush them down. It's awful. Oh my gosh, are we for serious here? Ugh. Okay, so that is it for the purple makeup look. I hope that you guys enjoyed the process, and I hope that you didn't give up in the beginning when it was looking like two black eyes, because now I actually like the look of it. It looks pretty glam, if I do say so myself. But anyways, I hope that you guys stuck through the video and enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.